Okay, hello everybody, Rod Danger Fox here. I'm gonna continue with this what if. So where I left off is where the repairman who repairs animatronics removes the body of Izuku and Elizabeth Midoriya out of the two animatronics endoskeleton, which has been kind of fused to some parts of the metal. And I never actually explained the animatronic suits or the animatronic endoskeleton, like how they look like. I mainly talked about their functions. So Deku is mainly like looked at from the endoskeleton perspective. He mainly looks like an art with some like added features to like the body, the legs to make it bend into a way, a tail, ears, and the endoskeleton is shapen into a way of a muscular body type. And so has the suit, but it's way more lean, like skinnier. The endoskeleton for it could fit easier in the suit, since the suit adds an extra few layers because of the suit, the fur, as well as the meat between the fur and the suit. That's how Midoriya's endoskeleton and suit looks like. But for his sister, it looks like a main little sister body type. Like a cute, innocent body figure. And the thing is, Midoriya's body kind of looks like Mirio, just a bit taller than Mirio because of it. Hold on. Deku's body is mainly like Muriel's body from My Hero Academia, if you guys couldn't hear me. And guess what? I figured, and the person just said this, I found the person who said the name for the Tattletales. Hold on, I'm gonna show you then. I found it, and I'm sorry that I could not have put in the name into the character. I just found it, so please do not be upset with me. It took me a while to try to find it since I get normally a lot of comments. So let's continue with the story. Okay, so we're gonna look at the Midoriya's perspective. They were called by Principal Nezu to come into UA because they want to show them something. And I already explained how Midoriya's endoskeleton and his sister's endoskeleton look like this, like a figure. Midoriya's endoskeleton mainly looks like a muscular muscular older brother body type, and his sister looks like a young, little girl body type. So yeah, but their endoskeletons are way thinner for the suits could fit on them because the suits add extra few layers. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the perspective of Inko and Hasashi Midoriya. They drive into UA campus, they were allowed in, and they go into the support class. As they walk in, and the reek of rotten flesh kind of scares them, and they see these like two students, some maintenance people, police, doctors, Principal Nezu, and some heroes. And the thing, okay, before I continue with that part, I'm gonna go into Katsuki's perspective. And the thing is, he like, the class 1A is like all over the place, like talking, chatting. And Katsuki looks outside, like there's a window, and he sees Inko and Hasashi, his aunt and uncle. And he's like, okay, why is my aunt and uncle here? As he said, okay, I'm gonna leave. See ya, suckers. I don't know what he's gonna say. Probably he would say nothing. He'd say, bye. As he leaves the room, as Ina starts waving at him, saying blah, 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 blah. Saying that you should not be leaving the classroom while waving his hands. As Katsuki does sneak around and finds where the Midoriyas are heading into the support classroom. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the Midoriya's perspective. As Principal Nezu says, I'm so sorry for your loss. I heard about what happened to your two children. And Inko and Hasashi, Hasashi grabs his wife as Inko starts weeping a bit, and he said, we do not want to be reminded of our misery. As it's reasonable because you don't want to remember someone who you lost at a young age of when they were like a young age because they were your children. And it's kind of it actually is respectable. So Principal Nessus said, I know, but you need to take a look at this. As he leads them to the table where the maintenance guy as they look in horror and see their two missing children. Some parts of them are burned, and some parts of the metal is melted onto them of the endoskeleton. As Inko starts covers her mouth and starts crying as say, my baby, my babies, my babies, my baby. As Inko is literally having a panic attack because of her memories of her children going missing. As Katsuki is outside the door and listening in as he hears Hasashi yelling, what the F is... screw, I'm gonna curse. What the fuck is this? Where did you find our children? Where have they been? Why do they look like this? As Principal Nessa said, we found them in the burn pizzeria of I forgot the animatronic's names. Charlie and I think one of their name was Crystal. If it's not, then it's gonna be Crystal. As Hasashi and Inko starts weeping together, as Bakugo does eavesdrop, as he hears Hasashi saying the children, my children, as Bakugo kind of breaks down, remembering all the fun memories he had with Deku and his sister. So he barges in saying, where is Deku and Elizabeth? As Principal Nessa said, oh dear, we should have kept a close eye on the... As Eraserhead was also there, said, Bakugo, you should not have left the classroom. And all this stuff explained as Bakugo technically pushes Principal Aizawa away from him as he walks to the exam table and sees two dead bodies of his former friends attached to the animatronics of Cassidy and not Crystal. Chris? Maybe. Yeah, Chris. As the animatronic's eyes flickered on as they slowly starts rising up, as they're only able to lift up their upper half while their lower half is kind of paralyzed because of the bodies are not inside. Basically, as I said to one person by accident spelling this, the animatronics need the bodies of the two dead children so they could be able to move around instead of staying in one place. Okay, it's 12:03. Okay, now that's weird. Okay, so technically Deku and his sister do need their bodies if they want to continue moving around. As the heroes and Bakugo and Inko and Hasashi starts getting into this fighting sense, as Inko and Hasashi are in tears as well as Bakugo, saying, what did you do to them? As Deku tries to open his mouth but couldn't and realizes his body is removed out of the suit. So Deku grabs his dead body as Inko moves his hand out of the way as Deku kind of feels hurt by this because he's being attacked by his family and his friend, his best friend. As Inko tries to pull Deku's decayed corpse on close to her as Deku says no in this very dark and sinister voice. As Deku clears his throat. As Deku said, Mom, it's me, Izuku. As Inko lets go of the body, it falls on the table, and she looks in horror and says, What do you mean? You are my child. You are nothing like my child. As Deku says, Mom, it's me, Izuku. Elizabeth is right here. As Elizabeth does says, Mommy, please stop, you're scaring me. As Inko and Hasashi are in more of an angered state because they are mocking. In their eyes, they're mocking their children. In Bakugo's eyes, they're mocking his friends. Into everyone else in the room, they're mocking the dead children. That's what they see. As Inko asks, okay, if you are my children, explain what we did for your 6th birthday party before you went missing. As Izuku explains everything in correct detail to the point where Inko and Hasashi left them alone for a little while. As Inko and Hasashi do their eyes widen as well as some other people, because they were only the other people who know about this. As Izuku explains in very much a lot of detail of what happened, and after that, being lured away into the back room, promising that their parents would be there for Deku's surprise birthday party. As Inko and Hasashi said, we did not ask an employee to get you to the back for a surprise birthday party, Izuku. As Deku explains, what happened next was kind of a blur. As Deku explains in correct detail of his sister screaming, as when his sister Elizabeth chimed in explaining her side, saying that she was stabbed in the back and her eyes were covered as she felt a sharp but cold, something sharp and cold on her mouth, and as her bottom jaw dropped on the floor. As they look closely at Elizabeth's corpse, they see a slit across her mouth and several stab wounds on her back. As Deku explains what happened after her death, he explains how he heard her scream, looked around, and tried to fight back whoever hurt her, because he felt like he failed on protecting his little sister, which is kind of reasonable as well. I would feel terrible. As Deku explained in very much disturbing detail of how the guy kind of manipulated him into a way of saying that it's his fault his sister died. As he grabbed his mouth, pulled him close, and stabbed out one of his eyes, causing him to lose everything in that eye, and then slit his neck. As they look closely and see an eye socket, no eye. So that means it's true, as well as a slit on its neck. And they put down their weapons and explain, so this is where you have been all these years. And Deku explains that we have been saying our names in public, trying to get you to see that we're here, we are trapped. We just want to go home. As Inko and Hasashi do hug their 2 animatronic children, kind of, but it's a bit weird. As Inko and Hasashi said, how about we lay your bodies to rest? As Deku said, no, we need those. We need them to walk. As Hasashi said, what do you mean? If those are removed from us, we will be stuck into one position. That means we cannot help at all. As Hasashi looks in a surprised way and saying, Principal Nezu said, what do you mean help? We have been helping children being safe in the pizzeria by stopping the 3 murderers. As he asks the 3 murderers and says the people in charge as well as one of the employees. The first guy killed me and my sister and tried to kill other children. We have been stopping them each time. Oh no, this is getting 15 minutes long. Oh no, maybe, I don't know. This could be a 1-minute video. Basically, Deku explains in very much a lot of detail how these guys were killed them and tried to kill our children, but stopped and ended up being killed themselves by Deku and his sister having enough of their bullshit.